Afternoon. It's a late show, but delayed but never denied. Yeah, you see the title: Thursday Night Football, Coach Prime. Colorado versus North Dakota State. Plus, we got other matchups. Let's get straight to the picks. The Cash App and the social media is down at the bottom. You see the Cash App, $TY Rebel 22. The Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok is at TY Sports Picks 24. You can put these picks in on Bet Online, on Prize Picks, Bravado, also what else? Hard Rock app, any of your local sports apps that's legal in your state. But we got Howard plus 40. We got Coastal Carolina plus 11.5. We got North Dakota State plus 16.5. I got Minnesota money line. I got Colorado money line. So I'm gonna leave those picks up while I pull up the Cash App information on the screen. This is an independent channel where I appreciate all of your donations as we grow. To keep the StreamYard going and everything else. That's nice. We got $TY Rebel 22. You can also scan it. For all you lovely ladies out there, you can DM me. If you're beautiful, we can do something. If you're ugly, I'm gonna block you and press charges, but I will accept your cash outs. No, I'm just joking. So going on in the world of college football, let's check out what's going on athlons.com before we get to the NFL. Let's touch on the main topic, which is college right now. By the way, I know a lot of you crazy Cowboy fans are excited. You got Delvin Cook to go along with Ezekiel Elliott, and now CeeDee Lamb got like around $34 million a year. Jerry Jones got him on a 4-year contract for about $34 million a year. I think $100 million is guaranteed, if I'm not mistaken. They're still working on Dak Prescott, but it seems like the deal still stands. He'll re-sign Dak if he gets to deep playoff runs, or maybe even a Super Bowl run. That's debatable. But a big name that we keep hearing is Paul Feinbaum. Right now it says Paul Feinbaum names programs that can secure college playoff spots with a week 1 win. That's a big claim, but I guess he's just saying that these wins could set the stage. So let's check out the programs that he's talking about. If we go down, I see Notre Dame, I see Texas A&M, and they actually play each other on Saturday night. That's the late game on ABC. That'll be a part of the SEC on ABC because it's Texas A&M home game. So whenever it's a home team on ABC for the SEC, that'll be an SEC on ABC game, whether the away team is part of the SEC or not. But basically it says week 1 of college football season is here. Featuring marquee matchups including Notre Dame Fighting Irish versus Texas A&M Aggies. The number 7 Fighting Irish are currently underdogs against the number 20 ranked Aggies. That's kind of asinine if you think about it, oxymoron. Number 7 is an underdog to number 20, but hey, going to College Station is no joke. ESPN's Paul Feinbaum thinks this is a game that could have major college football playoff implications. Paul Feinbaum believes that with a win, Notre Dame will make the playoffs this season for the first time since 2020. Yeah, well, this is really the first playoff. We want to be technical about it. I consider the 14 playoff more like an invitational. It was very small, kind of like those college invitationals for basketball. But this is a true playoff with 12 teams. It goes on to say, I don't have any questions, says Feinbaum. He also says, I know it sounds crazy. I haven't even turned the page on the month yet, but I think Notre Dame would have done enough. This is a huge atmosphere for them on Saturday night. You still got to win, but way to go for Notre Dame. A lot of people like the young coach, Marcus Freeman, actually the Ohio State alum, but he's long put the Buckeye thing behind him because who would want to be a Buckeye when you could be a part of the Fighting Irish with the golden helmets? But Feinbaum mentioned that while some people might not think highly of the Aggies, they should ask Nick Saban how tough it is to win in College Station. Yeah, that's a very good point because even though I was about to say Dabo, even though Jimbo Fisher was let go, he did beat Saban, I believe, if not once, but twice while he was at Texas A&M. But at least once, I know he beat him. He called it a potentially frightening situation for the Fighting Irish. He pointed out that the Fighting Irish do not have many tough games on their schedule. That's debatable. But okay. outside of that one. So if Notre Dame can secure a win over Texas A&M, they will be destined for a playoff berth. Well, you know, Paul Feinbaum, I call him Firebomb, not only because he's calling for people to be fired, but he has a lot of fire takes. I think he's just trying to fire up the crowd, you know, no pun intended, because I don't think a game week 1 determines anything in a 12-team playoff. The whole point of the 12-team, and then I believe in 2 or 3 years from now to be a 14-team playoff, is to get the best teams in. That'd be 1 loss, 2 loss, undefeated, possibly 3 loss. So, and then a lot of people saying Notre Dame doesn't play a tough schedule. Well, they're one of the few teams that probably plays every Power 5, Power 4 conference. They play, I believe they play someone out of the Big 12. I'm not sure. I can pull up their schedule, but I'm sure they always play 5 ACC games. They got an SEC opponent in Texas A&M. They got USC coming out of the Big 12. Out of the Big 10, I'm not sure. If they play Michigan or somebody out of the Big 10, then that covers all of the conferences. So just based off of that, I don't know how you can say they have a weak schedule when technically Notre Dame traditionally has one of the hardest schedules because they play everybody. That's one thing I'm suggesting. I feel like not only was my ex-coach Hugh Freeze right that we should have like a jamboree or a preseason game or a real spring game between teams. Now that we have this transfer portal to give guys team chemistry, you need to have one fake game before you have the real thing, like a Miami and Florida State or a Miami and Florida, or Notre Dame, Texas A&M. You don't want to put transfers or freshmen fresh out there and they've never played together. You want some type of preseason game against an FCS opponent or something like that. But neither here nor there. Let's look at Notre Dame's schedule. They got Texas A&M. They got Northern Illinois, which is a good program, but it's still G5. You got Purdue. That's not a tough program. Miami of Ohio, nah. Louisville is going to be ranked at some point. So that's on September 28th. Louisville will be ranked at some point. We don't know what Stanford will be. Georgia Tech seems like they'll be an okay team, maybe lower 20 ranks. Or maybe they're not ranked, but they're an okay team. Florida State took a loss, but, they're still kind of a ranked team. So I see what they're saying with the schedule because you got USC at the end. So, yeah, this is kind of a lighter Notre Dame schedule. So you got Texas A&M, Georgia Tech, Louisville, possibly Florida State if they can bounce back against Boston College. And then we got the USC Trojans, but we don't know if they're going to have a defense. So, yeah, this is going to be probably the most important game for Notre Dame. But the biggest thing for Notre Dame is don't lose more than 2. I would even say don't lose more than 1. Florida State is going to be aiming for Notre Dame because they're trying to get their self-respect back. But even if you lose to Florida State at home, if you win the rest of your games, or even if you just drop – see, I wouldn't say drop Texas A&M because then you have to rely on Louisville or USC to be good. The best thing you could do is win all your games. So even though people are saying that, it's a 12-team playoff, a conference realignment, Notre Dame's not in a conference. But even if they were in a conference, there's certain SEC Big 10 teams that just didn't get tough schedules. Look at Rutgers. They don't play Ohio State. They don't play Oregon. They don't play Michigan. So with these power conferences with 18 teams and 16 teams, you don't even get to play everybody versus a 12-team or 14-team conference. You might be in the SEC or the Big 10 and you don't even benefit other than the name because you're not playing any of the big names. So even with Notre Dame, they got 5 ACC games, but look at it. They got Stanford, they got Louisville, Georgia Tech, Virginia, and Florida State. So that's not the best draw. No Miami, no Clemson. Syracuse may be good. No North Carolina State. So even if you're playing a good conference, you may not draw the best teams, which could be good or bad because you avoid losses, but you also avoid strength of schedule. But let's move on to some other things going on in the world of college football because it's not all about Notre Dame. There's another team that wears gold. They wear black and gold. Coach Prime and his gang, over there in Boulder, Colorado. So let's look at what they're saying about the North Dakota State and the Colorado game and also Utah, where my cousin plays. So shout out to Kenny. And let's look at what's going on with Missouri tonight. So we're just covering all tonight's games. This is going to be a quick show. So hopefully you double down on snacks and your favorite cold beverages. I hope so. Because college football season opens tonight with 21 games, several including Big 10 and top 25 teams. A couple feature Oregon opponents. So I don't know why they're bringing that up because if Oregon's not playing, who cares about their opponents? Okay, it begins at 3 o'clock Pacific time. So I'm on Eastern time, so that would be let's say 4 Mountain, 5 Central, 6. So 6 Eastern. Okay. So Rutgers is going to host Howard University, which is a HBCU on Big Ten Network. So look at that at 6 o'clock Eastern time. I don't know why they mentioned Pacific time. I guess maybe this is written by an Oregon writer. It says the Scarlet Knights went 7-6 last year after beating Mario Cristobal's Miami Hurricanes in the Pinstripe Bowl. They always take an opportunity to take a shot at Cristobal and the Hurricanes. Shout out to the youth. They traveled to Seattle to face Washington on September 27th. They have future dates versus UCLA and at USC, but won't meet the Ducks unless both make it to the Big Ten championship. So, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So they got USC, they got Washington, UCLA, a lot of the West Coast teams for Rutgers. The Knights like to pound the rock. Senior running back Cal Mananjai, I don't know how you say his name. It's like an African name. Led the Big Ten in rushing last year with 1,262 yards and 8 touchdowns with 5.2 yards per carry. If you don't remember Kyle Mananjai, he was the guy that ran all over the Miami Hurricanes in the Pinstripe Bowl. But let's look at what's going on with Missouri, the number 11 team in the country. It says in the top 25, number 11 Missouri hosts Murray State. That's another, I believe Murray State is the FCS program. That's going to be at 5 o'clock. So 5 o'clock Pacific time is going to be, 6, 7, 8. So that'll be 8 o'clock Eastern on SEC Network. Yes, I'm reading this West Coast article, but we all over the world with it. Okay, the Tigers are a team picked by many to have a chance to sneak into the playoff field, or even in the SEC championship. They were 11-3 last season after clubbing the Ohio State Buckeyes and with a 14-3 win in the Cotton Bowl. Yeah, that was a big-time win. No opt-outs or not. Missouri did beat Ohio State head-to-head. Ole Miss beat Penn State head-to-head in bowl games. So shout out to the SEC. I'm everything SEC in the state of Florida. Okay, so anyways, it goes on to say quarterback Brady Cook leads a high-powered passing attack. He spun the ball for 3,317 yards, 21 touchdowns last year. It doesn't say anything about how many interceptions. I don't know if they got something to hide. But it also says last season with most of an excellent receiving group coming back for 2024, including All-American, unanimous All-American, Luther Burden, which is a 5-star recruit that turned out to actually be a 5-star player. That's not rare, but it doesn't always happen. It says he turned in 86 catches for 1,212 yards and 9 touchdowns. So let's get the double digits, Mr. Burton, this year. Okay, also number 12. Shout out to the Utes. Utah hosts Southern Utah at 6 Pacific time. So that would probably be 7, 8. So yeah. No, 7, 8, 9. So that's probably going to be 9 o'clock on Eastern time on ESPN Plus. So you'll have to have the app to watch the Utah game. The Utes welcome back senior quarterback Cam Rising and tight end Brent Keithy, both of whom missed all of 2023. While Kyle Whittingham squad is picked by many to dominate in the reconfigured Big 12, giving them an inside route to a top 4 seed in the college football playoff. So yeah, for all the Utah Utes, they are picked to be a top 4 seed and to win the Big 12 conference. So you got to look out for Colorado, Arizona, Kansas State, Kansas, TCU, all of those programs, UCF, be on the lookout. It says with a season like that, Rising could emerge as a Heisman spoiler. Elsewhere, North Carolina is at Minnesota. That's going to be an ESPN game, I believe. Also, we have Illinois hosting Eastern Illinois. The Illini travel to Oregon on October 26th, a week before the Ducks visit Michigan. So, yeah, this is an article all about Oregon. It's making me feel uncomfortable. Only Duck I know is Sebastian. Boo for the Oregon Ducks. I don't hate you guys, but, it's all about the youth. So, basically, that's what's going on in the world of college football right now. I've had those picks up long enough. Let's see if we can find some NFL news before we get out of here, because this is going to be a quick show so you guys can put your picks in. And also, remember that down at the bottom, you got the Cash App, $TY Rebel 22. And you also have the social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at TY Sports Picks 24. So let's check out NFL news, because even though the NFL kicks off next Thursday, we still have to start getting our fantasy football together. You know, I don't know if you guys want to have your picks in order. You still can do the over and unders before the year starts. So let's just check on what's going on with these 53-man rosters, because a lot of guys were cut, signed, re-signed the deals. Okay, so now let's look at with the 49ers. It says 49ers news. Where do the Niners stand at tight end after 53-man roster? So let's look at the George Kittle led tight end room for the San Francisco 49ers, and then we're going to probably get up out of here. It says the 49ers made significant cuts at tight end before the 53-man roster deadline. What does that mean for the position moving forward? I don't know why you making significant cuts. I think the Dolphins did that too. Don't let me misspeak. It was some team where they were trying to make room for quarterbacks. No, the Cleveland Browns, and they only have 2 active tight ends on their active roster. I guess they're hoping to have some guys on practice squad. That's kind of risky, man, because you don't want somebody to sign one of your guys and put them on the active roster. Okay, so it says countdown day. The team released 5 tight ends: Eric Sobert, Cameron Latu, Braden Willis, Mason Pline, and Logan Thomas. Logan Thomas is a good guy, but hey, he's getting kind of older, but he still can play. You know, it's tight end, man. As long as you got your quickness, you know, your route running, you don't have to have long speed for tight end. You know, especially with those big, powerful guys, they could just push off. You know, they're not really going to get a flag as long as they push below the waist. That's a trick in football. You grab below the waist, you push below the waist, the refs won't call it. For all you young guys out there that don't know. Okay, this left them with only 2 tight ends on the roster: George Kittle and undrafted free agent Jake Tonges. So that means he beat out a lot of guys that got drafted. A surprising move given the usual practice of carrying 4 tight ends. Yeah, because it's like you can only run 1 tight end sets, because if your starter gets hurt, you don't have a backup if you're running 2 tight ends. So they really are in a bind, but I do know they have I can't think of the guy's name, but they do have Kyle Juszczyk. He's a fullback, but a lot of people put that fullback at tight end nowadays too, or they'll just let the fullback run routes out of the backfield. So that could be something that they use for wiggle room, you know, or a bigger wide receiver. But we'll see. Okay, following the waiver period, the 49ers are expected to see some of those cuts return. Sobert is likely to take the second tight end spot behind Kittle, while Pline and Willis are expected to join the practice squad. So why would they cut Sobert if they want him to be the second tight end? I guess they really believe he's a blocking guy. They think nobody will want him. I think they have promise in Jake Tonges. That's what it is, and they don't want to let him go. See, a lot of teams, because of the combine, they didn't draft certain guys, but I saw that even with the Dolphins with Storm Duck and with McNair's, they're taking guys that went undrafted over guys that they may have drafted late. So that's why don't get caught up in the draft picks. You have to prove it on the field. As time's passing with college and with NFL, a lot of GMs are seeing that just because he looks like Tarzan doesn't mean he doesn't play like Jane. You can't just look the part or look at it at a combine. You have to perform in practice in the preseason games. You know what I mean? Because I'm seeing that a lot. You know, even at Florida, there's a walk-on starting over some kid that's on scholarship. It happens, not all the time. But anyway, it says Latu, a 3rd-round pick in 2023, has signed with the Cleveland Browns practice squad after just 1 season in San Francisco. See, I knew that would happen. Other teams are going to sign these guys. The decision to part ways with Latu comes after a challenging tenure marked by injuries and inconsistent performance. The 49ers have opted to go with players who have shown more reliability during training camp and preseason. So that's pretty much going to be it for the day. You know, so look out for your local NFL team. See who's on the 53-man roster before you start making picks, you know, because you may be relying on a guy that they don't have, or a guy that's injured on injury reserve where they can't play for the first 4 games. So just be cognizant of that. Also, take your time to donate to the Cash App, $TYRebel22 to support the channel. And follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Ty Sports Picks 24. I'm going to be out of here. Put those picks in. Let me bring them up really quick. Let me bring up the Cash App one more time. We got a Howard plus 40. We got Coastal Carolina plus 11.5. We got North Dakota State plus 16.5. You can move these points up. I'm just buying points for you, as many as you can buy before you hit to 200. Just give you wiggle room. You also have the Minnesota Golden Gophers upset against North Carolina money line, and then we got Colorado money line. I know it's not making a lot, but you can put it on a parlay. So maybe you put all 5 of these on a parlay, and then also do some single bets, or do some 2 betters or 3 betters, or round robin. Here goes the cash out. You can scan it. It's $TY Rebel 22. A lot of people have been subscribing. Please donate to the channel. I know it's making you money, so please reinvest so that we can keep it going. I'm giving you free picks. A lot of people charge. And that's pretty much all I have for the day. Go Colorado. Go Minnesota. Coastal Carolina, just cover. You don't have to win. Same thing with North Dakota State. I'm out.